It's unbelievable. It really is. I mean, again, I think the last 6 games, they've just had a little bit of everything to offer. I think that's what's so impressive. I mean, again, yesterday, the AFC champ, slayed the King Chiefs and the Rams and the upstart football team, Matt Stafford, the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo, all these great storylines. They were all phenomenal football games. And now, what's amazing to me, and I think it's cool, I mean, the one thing that jumped out to me, Mike, is 2 new teams in the Super Bowl. I mean, we never seen this matchup, Bengals-Rams. I know they're not new. I know they've been there before, but I always get excited for that. And it's cool for the NFL, too. I don't think you could talk about 2 different franchises who got a different approach, and I think it shows you everything that the NFL has to offer. Last week, the divisional games, the conference championship. Now we're going to the Super Bowl, the Rams, the salary team, the trade away your first-round picks, Hollywood, top-heavy, and then you got a team like the Bengals where it's like they've kind of done it the old-fashioned way. It's homegrown. It's, economical. It's through the draft. It's all of that, and now they're going to show up in the Super Bowl against each other, and it should be good because everything's been good, and we got 2 good teams here left, so it's pretty cool. It really is. Unbelievable football.
5th Super Bowl appearance by the Rams. They have won 1. 3rd Super Bowl appearance for the Bengals. They have won 0. They're one of a handful of teams out there. Not more than a handful, really. You consider they've played 55 of these Super Bowls. There are plenty of teams that have never won one, and there are more than a few that have never been there. But for the Bengals, this is number 3, first time in 33 years. Tom Brady was 11 the last time the Bengals were in the Super Bowl. And by the way, nice try, Tommy. You tried to upstage the conference championship weekend. It didn't work. We'll talk about him coming up, and I'm joking, I think. But the Brady news got pushed aside once they started playing the games yesterday, or more importantly, Chris, once they got to the second half of Bengals Chiefs, because the first half felt like the letdown for the exciting games that we had quickly become spoiled by. The Chiefs were up 21-3, and no stat screams out yesterday's game more than Patrick Mahomes' first half, second half. First half, 18 for 21, 3 touchdowns. Second half, 8 for 15, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Unbelievable. For the second time in the same month, January 2, January 30, the Bengals figure out how to shut down the Kansas City offense in the second half. It's unbelievable. And I know that we get caught up in Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and what the offense does. And defense getting it done against the Chiefs twice in a month. Unbelievable. And I mentioned yesterday, Lou Anarumo, he got interviewed by the Giants. I think some of these teams are still kind of floating around trying to figure out what to do. They may want to do a little research on the Bengals defensive coordinator before they make final decisions, Chris.
Well, I mean, it's every week it's been something pretty impressive. I mean, I think that's the thing that that you jump out. I think we've talked about a little last week in the podcast. I mean, we've seen multiplicity within the defense, game plan specific stuff from that side of the football. And you're right. I mean, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, it's all awesome. That's really great. But the story is what you just talked about. It's the fact that the Bengals, who just hung around. Oh my gosh, are they going to get blown out? Oh, wait, they're still in the football game. Oh, wait, the defense has really got a hold of Patrick Mahomes and the offense. I mean, the Bengals, they're unbelievable. You just can't kill them. It's really that's what you want to say more than anything. But, as much as, listen, Joe Burrow, the offense hanging in there, making plays when they had to, the defense, of course, the second half changing things up, like this play right here. This shows it all. Can we rewind that a little bit and show it? This to me is where, if we could show that last interception, guys. Look, this is what the Bengals did in the second half. They changed things up, Mike. You know how it is. Look, this is Hendrickson. He drops back. He's the guy in the way of the RPO that now makes Mahomes clutch the ball, and then it gets tipped in the air for the interception. But within saying all of this and all this stuff about the Bengals, and the defensive game plan was better and they had some curveballs in the second half, I still can't sit here and go, the main story is the Bengals won. I mean, the Bengals won, yes. But the Chiefs did some of the dumbest crap I've ever seen yesterday. I don't know what else to say. I think that's where the story starts for me, Mike. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's how I feel. The first half, you're on the 1 yard line with the greatest offense we've seen in football over the last decade. You have 2 plays at 9 seconds. You come away with no points. Not acceptable. Like, not acceptable in that moment. It's a microcosm of the Chiefs of the whole year. We thought they got this, like, disease away from them, but it came back. There it was, just dumb crap Chiefs stuff Chiefs team does. The RPO interception. I think you look at that. Like, here's the last play of the first half. That's just stupid. You know, Mahomes, Andy Reid, whatever. The fact that you leave points on the board in the AFC Championship game, let alone points on the board, and lose momentum that you should have going to the half, and you should be going into the half going, yeah, we're up by at least 14, and we're kicking their butt, and we got more to come. Instead, you went into half, and the other team was going, yeah, we're still in this, and we're only down 11. You look at that. The stupid RPOs that I'm sick of seeing from the Kansas City Chiefs. I bet you look at most of Mahomes' interceptions this year, it's him off a run fake trying to jam a ball over the middle, and then the end of the game, you can't let that up either. First down, we run the ball for 2 or 3 yards. We got all this time left on the clock. We're running for 7 yards a carry the whole game. And then we drop back and throw it on 2nd and 3rd down and get sacked and barely kick a field goal that, you know, we can make to send the game in overtime. Here, I mean, this to me is run the ball. They can't stop you running the ball. Why do you have to drop back and pass? I don't understand it. That was the strength. That was your advantage for your football team. I'm sorry, Mike, but I want to give the Bengals credit. But to me, more of the story is the Chiefs blowing things and doing dumb stuff. Because when the Chiefs play their A-plus game, I think we saw that yesterday, it's hard to look at any teams in football and go, oh, they're better than when the Chiefs play their A-plus game. It's just when they don't play their A-plus game, they play a C-minus game. And that's where they did yesterday, and that's why they're going to be at home for the Super Bowl. Sorry, Mike, I'm so long.
How many times? How many times? Remember what I say. Anytime you think you're going on too long, you're definitely going on too long. That said, it's an exciting day. I don't blame you. Look. We've seen this with the Chiefs. They find the gas pedal, they score their 28 points, and then they're done. Then that's it. They don't sustain it all 4 quarters. We see it in spurts, and we see it get turned off. I want to talk more in a minute about what the Bengals did defensively in the second half.
Yeah.
But, Chris, I'll tell you this, because I still have scars from 1998, Vikings-Falcons, when the Vikings are up 20-7 late in the half, and they decide we're going to turn it on and we're going to go for more. Drops back, Randall Cunningham gets hit by Chuck Smith, ball comes out. The Falcons get a touchdown, make it 20-14. The vibe changes dramatically. And even though the Chiefs were still up 21-10, psychologically,
yes, it changes.
As the two teams enter the locker room,
right?
As the two teams enter the locker room, it's 21-10 instead of 24-10 or 28-10.
Yes,
24-10. Even though it still would have been a 2-score game, 24-10 feels different. So what it allows Zach Taylor to do, and I don't know that he said this or not, but I know Dan Reeves, the late Dan Reeves, said this to the Falcons at halftime of that game in Minnesota 23 years ago. They let us hang around, and now we're going to go out there and we're going to take it. And from the Chiefs' perspective, you know, that first drive of the second half, because they had the classic Belichick opportunity.
Yes, they did.
Score,
Blew
halftime,
that.
score.
Right.
And there was the first drive of the second half is when something seemed different, to the point where, Chris, I went back last night after the Rams won against the 49ers, and I dialed up Chiefs Bengals, and I was watching and I was looking and I scanned through the box score, like, was there a time Patrick Mahomes took a big hit? Was he injured that we didn't know about? Did he get dinged and nobody just happened to notice that maybe he was concussed in some way? No evidence of anything like that. They just lost their mojo in the second half, and part of it was because I was poking around trying to find out, like, from people who were at the game, is there any talk that he was maybe that he got a hit, that something wasn't right? Because something didn't seem right.
Sure.
We never seen him fall off a cliff. He fell off a cliff. One of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen fell off a cliff after the first half. And the story is, and I'm sure you'll see it when you break down all the film, the Bengals were ready to make a dramatic change in their defensive approach in the second half.
No doubt.
They maybe would have thought about using it a little earlier, but it still worked.
Right.
It worked.
Right.
They got it done in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, they were obviously holding these things back for the second half. I mean, again, I'm like you. I'm going, Well, good thing they didn't, it adds to the point. Good thing Kansas City didn't score there before the half, because you go, wait a minute, you might have needed some of that earlier on in the football game when Kansas City was carving you up. But your point is real. I think that's the thing that jumped out to me as I'm sitting there watching. We all know you can't blitz Patrick Mahomes. You can't blitz him. You can't leave the Kansas City Chiefs one-on-one downfield. Well, the Bengals took the opposite approach. I mean, not even doing, Mike, what we talk a lot where, you blitz two and one drops out. We saw some of that. Like on the interception that he throws on the RPO, there's a guy that blitz and Hendrickson drops. So there was some of that stressed the protection, makes the quarterback, wait, am I protected? Oh, I am good. Oh, wait, there's still 7 guys back in coverage. And then more than anything, I think we saw a lot of 8-man coverages, 3-man rushes, 55 Wilson kind of hanging around the line of scrimmage, looking for somebody short crosser, looking for Mahomes when he breaks the pocket or steps up to one of the holes in the pocket from the 3-man rush. And that was what do you want to say? The diamond in the haystack or whatever there by Lou Anarumo, to have that in his back pocket and be able to dial up some of those defenses that obviously, like you said, just confuse things. You don't see the whole picture all the time, but there was too many plays where Mahomes dropped back and you went, oh, he doesn't like what he sees. Nothing's there. And you show a replay, and I didn't see people popping wide open either. But brilliant game plan by the Bengals that kept them in it, and Joe Burrow and then made some magic and took advantage of it from there.
The first hint that the Bengals were not ready to give up down 21-3 was the catch and run by Samaje Perine that gave the Bengals a touchdown that made it 21-10. But, I'm looking at the scoring summary from their Week 17 game.
Yeah.
At halftime, they were down by 11. They were down. So Zach Taylor could have gone into the locker room and said, "Hey, we got him right where we want him."
He did. In fact, I think that's what he said.
We played him 4 weeks ago. They're up by 11, and here again, they're up by 11. And the last time around, they won by 3. This time around, they win by 3. And this is the Perine run. That was like, the Bengals got something going on here.
Yeah,
the Bengals got something going on. Yep.
Right. We got excited. I went, okay, yeah, they got something going on. But at that point, too, I also sat there and went, well, there's 105. And the other guy and the other quarterback is on fire right now. I was sitting there watching the game going, Cincinnati better do something. What are they going to just die a slow death and just play coverage? And, the Chiefs will mess up. And, this is not, they'll get impatient. Because I was sitting there going, that's over. Like, this is a few weeks in a row. We've seen the Chiefs be patient. They're capable of doing that now. And they marched right down the field. And you went, okay, well, the Bengals made a play, but the Chiefs are still going to show them who's boss here. And bing, bong, boom, right down the football field. And then we have the stupid moment there with 9 seconds, 2 plays from the 1-yard line to come away with no points. Again, it's unacceptable in AFC Championship football. It's moments like that, like you already talked about. Whether it's the points and the momentum, that is real, to be able to go in the locker room and have that and go, wait, we're only down 11 and we got our asses kicked, okay? Sorry, London. I mean, absolutely kicked in the first half, and there we were, only 2 scores down, and 2 scores and a touchdown and just a field goal. Really remarkable, but a lot of credit to the Bengals hanging in there and then making some plays in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.